Oh, this is Mr. Hornsby 3. This is the Mr. Hornsby 3 show, and I am here for a second half of 2025 channel update, which I'll be talking about everything I'll be doing the second half of 2025. So, you already know Mortal Kombat month starts next week, and I'll be doing a lot of Mortal Kombat related videos, but unlike with X-Men month, not every video I do Monday, Wednesday are going to be freaking, a Mortal Kombat related video. It's going to be something else one day and then Mortal Kombat the next day. And I also got some Mortal Kombat playthroughs planned, which I'll talk about here in a minute. But yeah, that's what I'm going to do for Mortal Kombat month. So let's get into Mortal Kombat month, since Mortal Kombat month starts next week. So starting next week, and I decided instead of going to the gym Monday, I'm going to go to the gym Tuesday and go Wednesday, Thursday, and that. I was going to go to the gym this week so I didn't have to go next week because I wanted to take my birthday week off, but I'm like, yeah. But Memorial Day got in the way, and I wasn't feeling well on Tuesday, and I'm like, I ain't going to do only 2 days in the gym. You're not going to get nowhere. I at least got to do 3 or 4 days a week in the gym. But anyway, so Monday, I'll be doing my birthday toy hunt. I'll be going out hunting for something. I'll be looking for either that new Stone Cold that just came out, the new Ultimate Edition. And if I do find it, I'm going to take the one I have already and sell it. I'm not going to sell the vest with it or anything. I'm keeping the vest in that. But I will sell the figure. And I'll have to find a hand except the other hands to him. So that, when I sell him, they have everything else except for the vest and the chain. But, yeah. So I'll be doing a birthday toy hunt because, next Saturday will be my birthday. Then, and of course I'll sing a popular song also during the toy hunt. I know people love when I do that song. Anyway, then Wednesday I will be talking about, see, I was going to talk about a timeline with, they need to redo the timeline for Mortal Kombat 1, but I'm just going to talk about Mortal Kombat 1 in general because it's been announced that, I guess NetherRealms is giving up on future DLC and all that for Mortal Kombat 1. And I'll explain what went wrong, what went right, and why Mortal Kombat 1 is not well received as the most recent Mortal Kombat games that NetherRealm has done. Even though I wasn't a big fan of 11, I really didn't like 11. 10 was okay. 10 was good up until the end of the story. Then I was like, oh god. And 9 I'm not too high on either, which I'll talk more about that when I go into the playthrough. Because next Friday, I'll be doing a playthrough of Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. One of my favorite Mortal Kombat games. And I'm going to do that. Then the following week, it'll be Mortal Kombat 4. Which is odd. Like, you're going to play 5 first, and you're going to play 4. Hey, it is what it is. Which I'll be playing those for Xbox. I'll also be talking about, some characters in Mortal Kombat as well during this month. And then the other playthroughs I have on tap will be, I may do Deception, or I might go back to Mythology, I don't know. And I'm going to do a playthrough of Mortal Kombat 2 for Super Nintendo. So that's all the playthroughs I have for the month. As far as the other videos, like I said, I'll break down some of the Mortal Kombat characters, some of my favorite Mortal Kombat characters. Like, I'll talk about Scorpion, Cyrax, and a couple other characters that I'm a big fan of through the Mortal Kombat franchise. Also go to a video on talking about who should be the next villain for the next Mortal Kombat game as well. And I'm pretty sure if people who know what I'm going to say, especially when I got excited when Mortal Kombat 1 was announced a couple years ago. I'm pretty sure a lot of people know what I've got to say, but that stuff I said on Facebook, so yeah. I'll say it here on YouTube in a video. And, might have one more thing to talk about with Mortal Kombat. Depends on how the schedule pans out. I'll also be doing a video talking about AEW again. And maybe WWE currently. Like a state of the wrestling industry right now. I'll talk about the freaking AAA buyout that WWE had. Well, they only own a take in it, but yeah. And I'll talk about some other things that, you know, are problems and things that Tony Khan needs to fix with AEW. So I'll be talking about that. Yeah, I'm talking about the two big companies, WWE and, you know. And that's where I'll do the freaking video following up the playthrough of X-Men for Sega last Friday. Because I took time out to set up something that might end up being a contest. If people go watch that video, and you'll have to remember the names of the belts I pointed out in the video. With wrestling figure belts, because, you know, I did a lot of wrestling figure belt videos earlier in the year because, you know, the new WCW Championship came out. Had to compare it to the freaking Toy Biz belt. Had to compare it to the other WCW belts. Had to compare it to the WWE version of the World Heavyweight title as well. I will be doing a couple other freaking figure belt videos as well throughout the rest of this year. Talking about some other things and talking about some things we want to see. Yeah, I'll be put out because we still got one belt missing from the WCW Championship belt, and that's you know, the Wolfpack logo one, and I'll talk a lot about that one in a video down the road. Then we go into Anime Month, where, you know, probably where I'll do the next two playthroughs of the Mario games, because I really want to get those playthroughs out of the way, because I posted like toward the end of last year, like, here's all my playthrough schedule. I put all these games down. So there's still the Mario games I gotta finish. I've done all the games I said I was gonna do playthroughs of so far this year, but gotta finish do the Mario playthroughs, do World and freaking 1. But you also gotta go check out the Mario 3 playthrough I did 2 weeks ago. Pretty good video. But and then I'll get the Judge Dredd playthrough, because I also said I'll do Judge Dredd, and I'll probably get that. Also, the GTA playthroughs I'll probably end up doing in August, because, you know, August is, you know, probably the only time I won't have a theme month until it gets to the middle of August, where I'll be, you know, doing a Halloween, you know, doing a Halloween run all the way until the Friday before Halloween. Which I'll probably do playthroughs of games like maybe the current Texas Chainsaw game and all that. But, you know, depends on how long it takes to get a freaking game on that. It'll probably take like the whole video just to get a freaking one game. Probably get one freaking play of the game throughout the whole freaking video. Who knows? But we'll see. Also, the build to King of the Figures will continue next Tuesday as well. I'll be breaking down the Final Four. I'll be having the Final Four participants that's going to be in the King of the Figure tournament. I realized, man, I've really focused that one on mainly and that's something I'm going to try. And I guess I'll try it. I was going to try it with freaking Halloween Figure Havoc this October. But I'll probably focus on it for King of the Figures and Halloween Figure Havoc, where, like, I'll take the one brand, WWF brand, and I'll probably have it mostly that. Now, yes, there is an ECW World Title match on that, and I will have a championship match from WWE/WWF on the freaking Halloween Figure Havoc. I'm just gonna figure out how I'm gonna structure that, which I'll get into that when I get closer to Halloween Figure Havoc, and I'll probably get into it with King of the Figures because that's what I'm building to next. But yeah, I'll have the final 4 participants in the King of the Figures tournament, and then I'll have like the top matches that are also going to be on that show with promos and that. So yeah, and I'll be doing King of the Figures at the end of the month. Technically 1 month from now, which will be, I think, June 27th, is the last Friday of June, and that's when I'm going to do it, because after that, I don't have to do no more build, because July I'm not going to do no build. And I got to start building to Halloween Figure Havoc till the end of August. So, because Halloween Figure Havoc will be in October, and that'll be the video that concludes my Halloween run like it did last year. So, yeah. And I'm going to be bringing in a new segment for the show. Because, yeah, I've done playthroughs and that. Playthroughs ain't doing too well. I'm hoping they start. I've tried keeping them in with the theme month too. Like, not just playing random games after I'm doing a whole theme month of stuff. Like with Batman month, I did some Batman games. With X-Men month, I did Super Mario 3, and then I did 2 X-Men games, and then I took a break this week. Because, you know, my head, you know, I need to give my brain a rest. And give my, you know, and a mental reason, so yeah. Plus, you know, I guess I have respect for the veterans that served in the wars and that, you know, served. I guess I want to give them respect as well. I could have did a Rambo movie, like, review or something, but, yeah. I got plans for that in another time, but, yeah. And like I said, new segment I'm going to be starting. It's going to be called DVD/Blu-ray review, and I'll be doing that on Friday nights. Or I put a Blu-ray or a DVD in my Xbox One, and like, you know, put the camera on the TV and talk about the movie and all that stuff, and my thoughts on the movie, and you know. But in anime month, I'm going to be reviewing the first arc of Dragon Ball Z, and then I'll probably go into the Frieza arc or whatever, or go into the Namek, because like the Namek arc is like all connected with the Frieza arc anyway. I have a few other things for anime month. Talk about a possibility of JoJo's Bizarre Adventures might be coming back with the one that came after part 6, because I seen something at FYE a few weeks ago that makes me think, because I thought, you know, after they did part 6, I thought they were just not going to do JoJo stuff no more. But they might be. But it could be just another new manga, I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, that's a lot of stuff I got planned for anime month. I'll be talking about some things with, you know, Dragon Ball Z and all that stuff as well. Talk about, you know, my excitement for this next arc of frickin' of Demon Slayer. Talk about my thoughts on more modern day anime and all that stuff, and you know, give some of my thoughts on all that. And possibly, if things go well with the frickin' Blu-ray thing, DVD thing, maybe I'll end up doing Blue Gender. I'll have to rewatch it. But yeah, we'll see. Because I finally got to see Blue Gender, I think it was like a couple years ago. And when I talked about it on Facebook, the video didn't do so well on Facebook. But hey, more anime fans are on freaking YouTube than Facebook, so yeah. But yeah, I'll talk about some of my thoughts on some of the modern anime and how, you know, they've kind of, you know, softened what anime was in the 80s and 90s. Because, you know, if you look at the 80s and 90s, heck, some of the anime that came out in the 80s and 90s would not probably be able to be allowed to be passed in this version of the world. Yeah. So, 'cause 80s and 90s anime was like peak anime. And shows like Dragon Ball Z and that really, helped anime get popular too. So, we'll see about that. And then, also gotta go back. Gonna re-review all the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. I'm gonna start with 1. Then I'm gonna review 2. Then I'm gonna review 3. Then I'm gonna review 4, 5, 6, and A New Nightmare. Might not be able to do it all this year. I'm also gonna do that with Friday the 13th. I'll, review those. Halloween, I'm gonna re-review as well. I've talked about these movies in the past. These are my top 3 favorite horror franchises. Up there with stuff like Saw and all that too, and Hellraiser and the Child's Play / Chucky franchise. I even like the Leprechaun movies. Although after a while, yeah, you can tell they were running out of ideas for Leprechaun movies. When you have 2 movies in the hood, and then you go and you reboot it and do Origins, then you do that freaking crappy, supposedly sequel to the first one, which really wasn't that good. So, yeah. And like I said, probably not gonna get all that done this year, so it might go into next year. But yeah, what I'll probably do is I'll probably run through the first 3 Nightmares, first 3 Fridays, and the first 3 Halloweens. And then I'll continue that trend going into the next couple years. And I'll probably get into Hellraiser and all that stuff. And I really feel like after 3, I know a lot of people don't like 3, but I like 3. I feel like after 3, that's when Hellraiser really plummeted. Even though 4 was a pretty good movie. I like the backstory with the freaking guy, the toy maker guy that made the freaking Leviathan box. That freed Pinhead and them originally, so, yeah. But I feel like after 3, they just get kind of like with Child's Play. The first 3, well, I like Bride of Chucky. I love Bride of Chucky. And, there for a while, 3 was my favorite. Even though I know a lot of people don't like 3 either of Child's Play. But, then Bride of Chucky came out. I like that. But then we got Seed. And then we got, Cult, Curse. And then we got the frickin' TV show. And, I'll talk about that stuff too when I get into the Child's Play franchise. Also, something I'm planning for Halloween Figure Havoc. If I can find it. A Papa Shango figure. And I'm planning on making him do some kind of spell for something. But, if I don't, I might have to use the Boogeyman figure my son has. Either way, I'll figure it out. One way or another, it would be cool if I had Papa Shango and Boogeyman to... Papa Shango figures are usually hard to find. But, yeah. We'll see how things go with that. I'd rather do it with the Papa Shango figure. Because I didn't care for the Boogeyman. I thought it was stupid. But I loved Papa Shango. And then, like I said, once it gets to Halloween Figure Havoc, that's it for the year. Until next year. I might be throwing in, I'll probably be doing a theories video for X-Men 97 Season 2 that comes out next year. I might talk one more time about freaking GTA 6. And my thoughts on GTA 6. And again with the delay and all that. Which hopefully they got a set date for it. May 26th. If they have a set date, then that's when it should come out, May 26th. Hopefully they don't delay it till fall next year. Only problem is I hope GTA 6 is better than 4. Because 4 came out, and I know a lot of people love 4. Everybody. All these GTA YouTubers that praise 4 so much, I really don't care too much for it. I've even heard people say it's the best GTA. I'm like, no. San Andreas is. Despite the frickin' damn near hard frickin' missions like NOE and the frickin' Zero missions and all that other stuff. So yeah, I'm not gonna agree with that. Although 4, I think 4 is a bit easier than the San Andreas. But, you know, 4 was still pretty difficult. And I don't hate 4, I'm just not as big on it as other people are because, you know, I just feel like they could have done so much more with 4. And it still irks me that the villain they were building up to be the top villain ends up being a secondary villain to a villain you don't meet till later in the game, which that villain's freaking completely lame. That's right, I'm talking about Jimmy Pecorino, the lamest freaking GTA villain in the freaking franchise. And if Dimitri wasn't going to be the top guy to face, then you should have had Niko going after Bulgarin at the end of 4. But that didn't happen. So, yeah. It's like if you had freaking built Tenpenny up at San Andreas to be the main villain, and then you end up fighting somebody like Pulaski or something at the end. That would have been stupid. You know, that would have been... Or you fought Ryder at the end. Come on now. That was lame. Seriously. Super freaking lame. But yeah, I must say, I got a couple of GTA videos I want to talk about. Like, you know, the Ryder thing, which everybody keeps misconcepting that, oh, Ryder wasn't meant to be a villain originally when the game was on, but this gibberish over the freaking, you know, voice actor having issues with Rockstar, whatever, you know. A lot of people's already debunked that, but I'm going to talk about it myself. And do probably a couple other fun things with the GTA franchise. Well, I gotta get my definitive edition back for my nephew before I can do that. My nephew Bubs, I let him borrow it because he wanted to play him. You know, and try to convince Jane to play Vice City and San Andreas, because San Andreas is the best GTA game out there. And you know, it's better than 5, it's better than 4, it's better than Vice City, it's better than freaking 3. And honestly, I think, you know, my second favorite is Vice City out of the freaking GTA games. I think that was second best. And then I go with Vice City Stories and Liberty City Stories after that. But anyway, 5, you know, it's a little lower on the list. Especially when it first came out, I thought it was a great game. But over the years, the more and more it's been out, like what, freaking 13 years? No, not 13 years yet. 12 years later, I don't know, it'll be 13 years next year when 6 finally comes out. And it took 13 freaking years for them to put out 6. Hopefully it doesn't take that long between 6 and 7. But who knows? Oh, it'd be almost 13 years because I think 5 came out in September of 2013. So, yeah. We'll see. Ugh, boy. 13 years after the original, after 5 came out, then we get 6. Come on now. When there was a 4-year gap between San Andreas and frickin' 4, and not only that, we got frickin' Vice City Stories and Liberty City Stories between that. And like what? It was like only what? Few years gap between, like what, a 5-year gap between frickin' 4 and frickin' 5. But we got Lost in the Damned and Ballad of Gay Tony. With GTA 5, we got nothing to keep us occupied. I mean, yeah, they made Red Dead Redemption, but they gave up on Red Dead 1 and 2. Red Dead 1 came out before 5 came out. They made Red Dead 2, but then they gave up on that immediately, like a year or so after that game had come out. Crazy how things go with this crap. Yeah. They gave up on that, especially the online portion, like a year or 2 after the frickin' game came out, and then you're just like, oh hey, you know, just go buy more shark cards on GTA 5 to build up your money. And you know, heck, the way I got all my money on GTA 5, I freaking grinded and freaking worked hard to get all of it on the online part. But Rockstar wanted to get more money from those and you know how ironically, not too long after they delayed GTA 6, then they get another freaking DLC coming out for 5? Yeah. This is why I say it buys into that freaking plan they had of trying to milk more money out of us for GTA 5 online. Crazy. At least we get to get one more, year with the Halloween stuff, with the UFOs, taking pictures of them and getting sucked in, and then, trying to find the frickin' corrupted animals again. That'll be fun. That was fun for me last year. But, outside of that, GTA 5 Online is boring. But anyway, we'll see how it goes. But, and I didn't always have to do missions either. I did some missions for Dax and that. I freaking did Blue Dot stuff, did the cocaine sales. Not through my freaking cocaine house either. Like, I hit a stash house, get cocaine, and just sell it to people on the streets without even having to do the freaking cocaine build-up stuff with your cocaine warehouse. I still got to figure out how to get the asset lab and all that stuff, which I think I figured it out when I was watching my cousin Brandon play it yesterday, so we'll see. Anyway, that's pretty much what I got for the rest of frickin' 2025. And as we get closer and closer to some of this stuff, well, I'll, talk more about it in the videos. Like the videos I do. The normal videos, but yeah. So, yeah, next week, toy hunt for my birthday. And of course, I'm going to sing It's My Birthday. Mortal Kombat 1 video. I'll be topic video talking about that. And then a playthrough of Mortal Kombat 5, which is one of my favorites. Deadly Alliance. And then, week after that, I'll be talking about some of my favorite Mortal Kombat characters in the Mortal Kombat games. Some of them got buried over the years. Some of them became, champions for the freaking Elder Gods because one of the top guys got wiped out. So, yeah. But anyway, that'll do it for this update. I went 20-something minutes just letting people know about everything I'm doing. But that's it for this update. I'll see you guys next week for the toy hunt, the birthday toy hunt. The Mortal Kombat 1 video, and doing my, playthrough of Mortal Kombat 5. So until next week, catch you guys later. Please like this video, leave a comment, subscribe for more. And until next week, catch you guys later, and peace out.